Today's flashback movie is Air Force One, and we're going to look a little at the background of the movie, what it's about, and who the stars were. As usual, if you like what you see, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, then you could even subscribe to the channel. That would be great if you did. Air Force One was released in April 1988 by Columbia Pictures, with a running time of just over 2 hours. It was nominated for 2 Oscars, in the Best Sound and Best Film Editing categories. The story was written by Andrew W. Marlowe, and the movie was directed by Wolfgang Peterson. Filmed in Mansfield, Ohio, the budget for the movie was around $85 million, which seems pretty good for the time, and it went on to gross more than $315 million worldwide. After making a speech in Moscow vowing never to negotiate with terrorists, President James Marshall boards Air Force One with his family and advisors, when a group of terrorists led by Ivan Korshunov hijacks a flight. The President's principles are put to the test. Feigning escape, ex-soldier Marshall stows away in the aircraft and must race against time to rescue his family and everyone else on board. It's a very cliched but interesting film, with a two-fisted President of the United States literally taking on terrorism himself on board his jet, Air Force One. Believable? Well, of course not, but it's a story that hooks you in and keeps you involved all the way. Could have been trimmed down to be sure, but the better than average action scenes help make up for that.
You've been very busy downstairs, haven't you? Killing my men.
The star of the show, of course, is Harrison Ford, and he plays President James Marshall, who springs into action to save the day and defeat the terrorist threat. Ford was born in Chicago, Illinois back in 1942, but now lives on a sprawling ranch in Jackson, Wyoming with his third wife, Callista Flockhart. Best known for his roles as Indiana Jones and Han Solo, Ford was discovered by George Lucas while working as a $150 a week jobbing actor and carpenter, going on to appear in 1973's American Graffiti as a result. He has since amassed a personal fortune of around $300 million. Now, if I had that much money by his age, I would definitely think about retiring. But maybe, when your hobby is collecting and flying aircraft, you need all the money you can get your hands on. Born in London in 1958, British actor Gary Oldman plays the leader of the terrorist group, Ivan Korshunov. Having made his name as Sid Vicious in the 1986 movie Sid and Nancy, 5-time married Oldman moved to Los Angeles in the early 1990s and has gone on to star in a variety of roles, from Dracula, Sirius Black in Harry Potter, and Commissioner Gordon in Batman, amongst others. Another Hollywood legend to star in the movie is Glenn Close, who was born in 1947 and played the role of Vice President Kathryn Bennett. Connecticut-born Close holds the dubious record for the most Academy Award nominations in one category without a win, a record she shares with the legendary Peter O'Toole. Having been propelled into stardom playing the somewhat disturbed Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction, Close has been a Hollywood mainstay since the early 80s, with almost 100 credits to her name, including Guardian of the Galaxy and The Simpsons. Ex-boxer David Vadim was born in the Ukraine in 1972 and was then raised in Brooklyn, New York. Having begun his career as Sasha in 1994's Little Odessa, Vadim played the role of Korshunov's henchman, Igor Nevsky. Born Vadim Shukhat, David is perhaps best known for his keen interest in the theatre, having consulted at the famed LaGuardia School of Performing Arts and coached award-winning actors on Broadway, in movies and on TV. His other big box office appearances have been in the likes of G.I. Jane and Exit Wounds, as well as starring as Sergei in the TV show One Life to Live. Los Angeles native Dean Stockwell was born in 1936 and is now deservedly retired. But he enjoyed a career spanning more than 70 years, during which he found time to appear as Defence Secretary Walter Dean, who urges the Vice President to declare Marshall incapable under the 25th Amendment. one of the few child stars to make it a lifelong success of the acting business. Stockwell has accrued more than 200 credits to his name, with movies such as Quantum Leap and Dune, as well as TV shows such as Jag and Battlestar Galactica. His last appearance before retirement came in the movie Entertainment in 2015. Donna Bullock was born in 1955 in Dallas, Texas. She has been married to actor Sherman Howard since 1988, and they have one child together. In the movie, Donna plays Deputy Press Secretary Melanie Mitchell, who is killed by Korshunov after he believes that a Secret Service agent is hiding in the cargo hold. Having begun her career on the small screen in the TV series Dallas, strangely enough, Donna has also appeared in such as Melrose Place and Frasier, as well as being known for movies like The Girl Next Door and Nowhere Man. Born in 1950 in Riga, Latvia, which was then part of the Soviet Union, Elia Zalmanovich Baskin played Korshunov's best friend and right-hand man, Andrei Kolchak. Since his defection to the United States in 1976, Baskin has developed a successful career in TV and movies, most often portraying Eastern European characters. Having first gained attention in 1984's Moscow on the Hudson, he is perhaps best known on the big screen as Peter Parker's landlord, Mr. Ditkovich, in Spider-Man 2 and 3. Jürgen Prochnow was born in Berlin in 1941 and brought up in Dusseldorf, but describes himself as a German American and is perhaps one of the most successful German actors in Hollywood. For this movie, he played the leader of the terrorist regime in Kazakhstan, General Ivan Radek, who is imprisoned in Russia. The plane has been captured by his supporters in an attempt to secure his release. As well as his role in Air Force One, Prochnow is perhaps best known for Das Boot and Beverly Hills Cop 2. Jürgen has been married to Verena Wengler since 2015, and although he received US citizenship in 2004, they relocated back to Berlin in 2017. Born in 1984, Liselle Matthews played the role of first daughter Alice Marshall. She was just 12 years old at the time. Born Liselle Ann Pritzker in Chicago, and now known as Liselle Pritzker Simmons, Liselle is a member of the wealthy Pritzker family and is involved in a number of charitable foundations. Having removed herself from the acting spotlight since 2000, she's married to Ian Simmons and lives in the Boston area. Born in Boston, Massachusetts in 1949, Paul Guilfoyle played the role of White House Chief of Staff Lloyd Shep Shepherd, who along with the President and others is prevented from escaping from the plane by the terrorist leader Korshunov. Although best known as a small screen actor, and particularly as Captain Jim Brass in CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, which ran from 2000 to 2014, Paul has also appeared in a number of other hit movies, including Mrs. Doubtfire, Hoffa, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and LA Confidential. Paul currently lives in New York and has been married to choreographer Lisa Yobi since 1989. Born in Toledo, Ohio in 1931, journeyman Philip Baker Hall didn't actually start his acting career until he was 30 years old, having previously worked as a radio announcer and a high school teacher. Having initially shot to fame as veteran gambler Sidney in 1996's Hard 8, Hall appeared in the movie as US Attorney General Andrew Ward. As well as appearances in numerous TV shows over the years, Baker Hall is also known for his roles in a number of box office hits including Boogie Nights, The Talented Mr. Ripley and Magnolia. He's been married to his second wife, Holly Ruth Woolfall, since 1988 and they have 2 daughters together. Oregon native Tom Everett was born in 1948 and played National Security Advisor Jack Doherty, who is the first hostage to be executed when Korshunov demands Radek's release. Everett is also known for his appearances in Dances with Wolves, 13 Days and Pearl Harbor. Most recently, he also portrayed a version of Benjamin in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Twice married Everett is now divorced and has 1 child. Born in 1956, Canadian actress Wendy Crewson plays First Lady Grace Marshall. Following her big breakthrough in 1991's The Doctor, Wendy went on to appear in the Santa Claus trilogy before landing this role in Air Force One. Having publicly come out as lesbian in 2014, Wendy was previously married to Michael Murphy from 1988 to 2009, and they have 2 children. She currently lives in Toronto and has most recently starred in TV shows The Frankie Drake Mysteries and Departure. Hollywood stalwart William H. Macy was born in Miami, Florida in 1950 and appeared as Major Norman Caldwell, the President's military aide who is also aboard the stricken plane. Macy actually grew up in Georgia and Maryland. His father was a highly decorated World War II bomber pilot. He's been married to Felicity Huffman since 1997, having moved to New York in 1980 before his career hit the big time with a leading role in the movie Fargo. He has since gone on to star in the likes of Boogie Nights and Jurassic Park 3, as well as enjoying a long stint as Frank in the American version of the TV series Shameless. Born in 1955, you might know Brooklyn-born Xander Berkeley best for playing Gregory in The Walking Dead, or Percy Rose in Nikita. But in Air Force One he played the terrorist Mole, Secret Service agent Gibbs, who was head of the Presidential Protection. Berkeley's career began on the small screen in the early 80s, appearing in the likes of MASH, Miami Vice and The A-Team. Later he became a regular on the TV series 24. Having enjoyed most of his success in TV shows, Xander's other big movies are perhaps Candyman and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Having met actress Sarah Clarke on the set of 24 in 2001, they were married the following year, living in both Maine and Los Angeles with their 2 daughters.